Well, hi guys, look who it is. Oh, and my glasses are all smudgy. I don't have a haul for you today. I um, I guess we better get used to not having certain hauls. Um, I was so stupid though. I ordered some groceries and some survival items, and I was so locked on putting them away and making sure they brought everything that I ordered that I didn't video any of it. Just absolutely none of it. Now this is a little dress that I bought from Temu just to wear around the house. And what I was going to say is the picture, the colors were more vivid. And these are kind of muted, or whatever, but it's all right. I don't think I paid that much for it. And I was just looking at these earrings. I don't think I can get in them. But they're blue, and they would go with this little dress just perfect. So, how's everybody doing? With the way things are going, we have to check on each other and just see how we're doing. Everybody doing okay? Roll call. Everybody here? So, we're just going to talk for a few minutes today. But these aren't those cute? Those are really cute, and they really go with my dress. Let's see if we can get these on before the video runs out, huh? Let's see here. So did I tell you when we had Easter at my daughter's house, she was supposed to get a ham and a small turkey. She didn't get either one of them. So we ended up having steak and ribs that were made out on the grill, and they were really good. But I did miss my Easter ham and, all that stuff. So guess what I did? I bought me a ham, and I think that's what I'm going to have this Sunday, if I feel up to it, guys. I've been not, I know you guys get tired of hearing this, but I have an ulcer that bleeds or just goes crazy from time to time. And the past 2 weeks, it's just been really, I've been in a lot of pain. And I've been on some happy pills. And I just didn't feel like doing anything. But when I had the happy pills, I couldn't do anything because they just knocked me right out. But sleep. So I'm a little bit better now. And here I am. So, now I did get this. I opened it. I ordered this from Temu. I know y'all have seen it. I didn't realize it was so big. But it's really light. And it would be great if you're shopping, maybe when you go to Goodwill, and you're picking up stuff, and you can put it in here. And it has this so you can have it on your shoulder. And it's really kind of well made. I like it. I like it a lot. And it didn't break the bank. I don't remember how much it cost, or even if it was free, because I had been looking at it. And I also got one for my daughter. Now I can't find my pen. I can't keep up with anything. Okay. I wanted to talk about Ryan Reynolds again. Him and that Justin Baldoni and his wife thing is just a little much. But I think we've seen a side of Ryan, or found out some things about Ryan that we didn't know. And he's not as happy-go-lucky and fun as he pretends to be. He's really kind of serious and kind of mean. But I don't believe anybody, and I may be wrong, can make a whole lot of money and be a nice person all the time, or most of the time. I think you have to be kind of shrewd. I think you have to step on people. And if I'm wrong, or if you think I'm wrong, tell me. That's just my opinion. And you know what? And I'm at the age where I listen and I can change or make adjustments to my opinion. But that's just an opinion I have of people that have a lot of money. Also, May's supposed to be a hard month for us. There's supposed to be a lot of things that are going to be missing on the shelves. So we talked about this before on some survival foods or some of your favorites that you can stock up on. Please, folks, please, stock up on, I like flour. They said that rice may not be in a shortage in May, but it's coming. And coffee might be in May. If you're a coffee drinker, you might want to stock up on some coffee. You know, we like the Keurig little pods, but I also bought just some regular coffee. So we have that as a backup. And just take care of your families and stuff, you know, and stock up on some tissue and laundry detergent. By stocking up, I don't mean, you know, during COVID, you saw people's garages and it looked like a store, you know? I mean, they had shelves and shelves and shelves of one item, you know, whatever. Don't hoard, but get enough that can take care of you and your family. And also remember on like canned salmon, canned tuna, canned chicken, all that kind of stuff, have some of that on hand too. And of course, all the comfort items, toothpaste, mouthwash, you know, Q-tips, you know, wear Q-tips when you really need one, you know. Get some make sure your first aid kit is stocked, and make sure everybody's medicine is always up to date. What else did I want to talk to you about? Let's go back to the purses in China. Well, did you see that Louis Vuitton is going to sue China? If Louis Vuitton should sue anybody, they should sue the president who imposed those tariffs of what, 100 and something, and the people are, of course, China's trying to survive. If I had 1 billion people, I'd try to survive. But I don't see where Louis Vuitton, unless they signed a non-disclosure, but under the circumstances, what's happening, I don't even think that non-disclosure would hold up. But how many of y'all have actually saved for a year or more to get a purse that you really, really wanted? You know, you really saw one that was way out of your budget. And I mean, you actually worked and saved money to try to get a purse. And you find out that that's just something that we've been fed, you know, that the purse isn't worth all that. And my daughter, she went online and she was supposed to be in China. And she bid on a Louis Vuitton. It's a small one, really cute. And so I had no idea. So I went over to her house, and she knows that I do like Louis Vuitton. And I went over to her house, and she said, "Mom, I'm going to give you this purse." And I looked at it, you know, and of course I'm no expert, but it looked real to me. All the LVs were going in the right direction and stuff, you know. And so I said, "Well, why are you giving it to me?" And she said, "Well, I was on this site," and this was about a year ago. And she said, I was on this site, and it was in China. And she said, they said that everything was authentic. And she said, I was bidding on it. And she said, and then when it came, she said, it looks authentic, but I think I got took. And I said, really? And I said, you don't want it? And she said, no. So she gave it to me. It looks authentic. It's as authentic as it's going to get, you know. So I think she gave away a good one and didn't realize it, what was really going on. So we talked about that. And I wanted to, somebody sent me, one of the subscribers said, I just love you and I love listening to you. And she said, and I love your smile or laugh or whatever. You know, and that brought back memories. I've told you before some things that happened to me in school, traumatic experience. that whole school thing is just blown out of proportion. But anyway, everybody around me, you know, in high school, you have to take a foreign language, especially if you're going to go to college, right? So everybody was taking Spanish, and they even still had Latin, and some people were taking Latin, you know. And I decided I was going to take French. First of all, if you take a language, you really should encourage your kids to take a language where there's somebody around that kind of speaks that language, and they can practice with them or get an ear for the sound of the language or something. I knew nobody that was French. My parents didn't know anybody that, I don't think, that was French. They never spoke French. I never heard French in the home. So I took French. It was a nightmare. I was terrible. I mean, everything was going over my head like a hairnet. I wasn't retaining anything, nothing. So, but the teacher, bless her heart, Miss Olmsted, I remember her. I can just see her right now. And that's been many years ago, many years ago. But anyway, she said to me one day, and she said, Patricia, I'm sorry that you're not doing better in class, she said, but when I'm having a bad day, she said, I just love seeing your smile. What did she tell me that for? She'd be standing up talking, and I'd be sitting there like this. I ended up with the D in her class. And that was still good then. That was passing. I don't think it is anymore. And it was, trust me, I'm telling on myself, it wasn't a D plus. It wasn't a D minus. It was just a plain old D. But that was considered passing. So thank you, Miss Olmsted. And I wanted to kind of talk about the African countries that are banding together and trying to keep the capitalist countries out. I think they should protect their resources and stuff, you know. I think the continent has been raped enough, you know. All of our diamonds, the gold, what is it, De Beers that's over there? And they said that when people finish working, when they're working in the diamond mines, they search them and everything. I mean, even if they find a little tiny diamond, just a little tiny one, you can't keep it. You can't put it in your pocket or anything. They have so much resource. And they said that cobalt, and they get cobalt from them, and you know, that's what pushes our computers and our phones and all that stuff. And I read somewhere that if they didn't get it from Africa, we wouldn't have Apple, and we wouldn't have Microsoft. We wouldn't have any of those things. And still, those people have all those resources, and then there's some of the poorest countries on earth. That doesn't make any sense. So anyway, they've got a new leader, and they're trying, people are sending mercenaries trying to assassinate him, that's saying that, no, we're going to keep our resources here. However, I disagree with some of the countries over there that have expelled Americans, but it's all politics, that doesn't have anything to do with us. But I'm just happy for them and their resources, that maybe they can change things around, and he'll just have to be on his toes about the mercenaries, because they're going to come for him. He might as well get ready. So I don't know who you'd have to guard you, So the other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about, Saturday is the Kentucky Derby. Yes, I love racehorses. Yeah, oh, I love these earrings. Oh my God. And I got some glasses that kind of have, blue in the frame. Ooh, won't I be cool? Okay. Back when there was an old saying, when you were cool or hip or fire, everybody says fire now, you'd say, oh, I'm saying something. That's stupid. Anyway, if I had my glasses with the blue that matched the earrings, I'd be saying something. Anyhow. But anyway, the Kentucky Derby is Saturday. And I picked my horses. You can't, they don't have bookies or anything in Texas. So betting on horses in Texas is kind of illegal. I'm not sure. I think we could go to the casino. But if y'all are into horses, check these horses out. Citizen Bull, Journalism is a favorite, Luxor Cafe, Owen Almighty, Tastic, and Sandman. Those are my picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would have to narrow it down and everything, but those 6, I'd watch those. Journalism is a favorite. So I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Citizen Bull, I think he's owned by Baffert. And if you know anything about the horse races, you know that he's had the horses that have had a little chemical help, and he was banned for 3 years. Well, he's back. He's got 2 horses in the race this Saturday. So I don't think he's dumb enough to dope his horses up. Not in this first race. But in Sandman, somebody in Metallica is associated with Sandman. Yeah, the group. Luxor Cafe. It's got good bloodlines. I remember that much. I read that much. I forgot who sired it, but it has good. Well, all of them have good bloodlines. They're associated with somebody. Luxor is somebody Pharaoh, a good horse that ran. I think he even won at one time. Well, anyway, Luxor is related to that Pharaoh horse. Pharaoh. It's been nice here, lots of rain, but it's, Texas is extremely hot. It's like hell. I mean, I don't know, but they say hell is hot. It's like hell during the summer. But the best time to come to Texas, if you want to visit, would be in April and May, because the weather is tolerable, and it's not cold. It's not cold. May we're going to have some 80s and 90s, but it's not the beat down 80s and 90s yet. June and July and August just bypass altogether, because that's in the hundreds, and it doesn't play. It's like, you guys want hot? I'm gonna send you hot. So anyway, I got my little HEB paper, and I got to figure out what else I want from HEB. If y'all don't have an HEB, you are missing out. Google it and read about HEB. HEB is only in the Southwest, I think, and the South and the Southwest, but it's like the 4th leading or 5th leading supermarket in the country. And they have excellent prices, and their food is super, super good. and they do a lot of recipes from people in certain areas, say that have a barbecue sauce, and everybody says it's great. They test it, it's great. They put it on their shelves, you know, they do stuff like that. And when there's a disaster, like a tornado or whatever, they bring the big HEB truck, and they give people food, and they bring a truck that has a way to cook, and they do hot food and feed the people and stuff. They do a lot of things to give back to the community. No, I don't. I don't work for HEB. It's just that when I first moved here, there wasn't an HEB here, and I told somebody, I said, these stores up here know HEB's reputation. I said, and they've all banded together, and they've tried to keep HEB out of here. Well, somebody made a mistake of letting HEB buy some land. And once they bought the land, somebody else let them buy some more land. And I think in a matter of 3 years, they may have as many as 10 stores in the area. And I think they're going for 30 stores. So that's HEB. But you really do get what you pay for. And I hope they never change. And I'm so glad they're here. And I think that's about all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like seeing me. I really like seeing y'all. And, I watch Rose, who's a lady from Uganda that lives in China that married a Chinese man, and they have 2 children, and shows their lifestyle. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, they work hard. They do hard work because they're farmers. They don't live in the city. They live in the rural area. But they seem very happy. And they just built a big house that looks kind of fancy to me, but I don't want to say too much. I don't think you're supposed to have big fancy houses. But anyway, it's very interesting. I watch some of everything. And then there's a guy that's in, I think he's above Alaska, really, but he's way up north, and I don't know how he ended up buying this house for $100. And so he went to see the house. That house was a mess. It was a 2-story, probably built back in the 1800s. It has no electric. It didn't have any running water, but it sat on a hill with a view that was absolutely to die for of the waterway, And he's done work on it every day, and it's called Skote, Skote, and it is so interesting. And he's the kind of man that every woman dreams about. I mean, he just thinks of something and then goes out and builds it, and he chops down the trees and take it down to the mill and turn the trees into wood so he doesn't have to buy wood to build all this stuff. Girl, and he's not bad looking either. But when he came, he didn't know anybody in the little area and everything. And I don't know how the little girl next door hooked up with him, but they're married now. I mean, but I got to give it to her. She works just as hard as he does. I mean, she carries that wood and dries what are those vehicles? Are they, the vehicles that people drive in the country real fast, and I don't know, recreational vehicles or whatever. Well, they use it to haul a lot of stuff. They pull a lot of stuff with those vehicles. And I was sitting here going, oh my gosh, those vehicles actually have a use other than turning people over and hurting them and stuff. So that it opened my eyes to that. But this guy, they've got animals now, and they're plowing for a big garden, and they've done a few things with the house to make it livable. They have some rooms that are livable, but it's interesting, for me anyway. So anybody that has any interest like that, his channel is Skote. And what else? And there is another one I watch, Eugenia, that's the way it looks. She says Eugenia, but anyway, Eugenia Diaz. I'm so sick of this woman, I don't know what to do. I mean, she's just freaking perfect. First of all, she's tiny. She goes out and she plows her little garden. Her garden comes up, everything is 10 feet tall. Bounty is great, just all kinds of fruits, all kinds of vegetables. She makes her own bread. She's gluten-free, so everything is gluten-free. The other day she tried on really expensive clothes. I think they were expensive. A lot of them were silk and real linen. So, you know, you pay for that. And she was trying on this stuff. And she had this white sweater that I thought was really pretty. And she said, "Oh, I made this sweater myself." And I was like, and she's, she can do everything. She's perfect. She's just perfect. And if you get a chance, kind of watch her, and then you'll know some of the stuff that I watch. You probably said, "God, she's crazy." But anyway, she said that she's a doctor. She went to school to be a doctor, and I don't know where she doctored at, but she's a doctor. And then she moved to the States, to Los Angeles area, because she decided she wanted to make purses. So she made purses, and I don't know anything about that industry on how you break into it, but just listening to what Louis Vuitton did with China, I don't think it's that easy. And if you're making them yourself, you're going to have to price yourself like out of the market. And nobody's going to pay $800 or $900 for a purse and they never heard of you, you know. I would if I had it, if I liked it. But, I mean, so anyway, that went under. And she talked her husband, Peppy, into, I can't think of it where they are. Gosh. Because my daughter wanted to move there. My mind's drawn a blank. But anyway, and then last year they packed up and they just went to London for no reason because she just needed to get away. I think she said she had had a miscarriage. I think. I'm not sure. She's not that old. She's like in her 30s, so she has time to find herself, and she does do things to see what she really wants to do. So, Hugenia. And they have beautiful photography, you know, when they do aerial views and stuff of their land and so forth. And she said last year they were building a house on the land. Right now they live like in a little tiny house, so I don't know if the house is finished, or I know they had some engineering problems with it because they actually did the plans. You know, some people think that plans are easy to do. Plans are not easy to do for houses. So you have to really know, I mean, you can draw an outline like a box and say, this is what I want, and I want a room here, room there, room there, but all the mechanics that goes with it and the systems and stuff, you got to know all that. But anyway, so I haven't seen the house yet. That's another thing Hugenia said. Anyway, I get mad at her sometimes because she's perfect. She's beautiful. She speaks, she's Portuguese. Yeah, they're in Portugal. And the place is beautiful. Whatever she puts in the ground, it grows. And she gets a lot of it, you know. And when she picks it, she shows us. She cans. She makes cakes, and she does her own icing and everything. And then she goes outside and she picks certain flowers that you can eat. Now, let me say something. The people I know, like Deb and Margaret and Susan, if I invite them over and I have some flowers on a cake, they are not going to eat it. They're just not going to eat it. But anyway, she doesn't invite anybody over. Poor Peppy. I mean, I know that she's gluten-free and her weight, she keeps her weight down and everything. But I think her man, he looks like he could eat a little bit more to me, but I don't know. Who? I just don't. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to me babble on and on. And keep those comments coming. You guys, I love your comments, you know? There's another lady, I just want to say this, that I watch. And she's a young girl. Well, not a girl, but she's like in her 30, maybe 38, 39. And it it looks like she doesn't have it hard, but it's not easy, I would think, at that age with 3 kids, and I think they're all teenagers. And she's working, and I'm sure, you know, she gets support from her ex, because I understand that he's the one that bought her vehicle, and it's a big, nice vehicle. So she would have something, you know, to get the kids around in. But anyway, she eats a lot of fast foods. And she does that because she does work, and she works at a nursing home. And she's not a nurse, so I don't know what her, maybe she's a tech or something, but I think most of those people, if they really put in 8 or 10 hours work for their pay, I think they work pretty hard. And so she picks up a lot of fast foods. And I would say she probably wears a good size 16. Well, anyway, she said that people have really been mean to her about writing and telling her that she shouldn't be eating this, she shouldn't be eating that, she looks like this, she looks like that, she's obese, she's this. And she really seemed like she had been clobbered over the head the other day. And, you know, if you just don't like somebody, or why would you just want to hurt somebody's feelings, you know? And I think weight is one of the hardest things to talk about with somebody, even a loved one, you know. But for a perfect stranger, you know, and I don't know, she said it was pretty bad, some of the stuff that people say. That's really mean. We don't have to be like that with each other. Anyway, okay, I said I was going. I'm really going. I'm going to go watch TV and probably curl up and go to sleep. I got some meds to take, and when I take them for pain, it knocks me right out. So I hope to see y'all in a few days, that I'll have something to share with you. And if you're in Kentucky, go to the Kentucky Derby. And remember those horses I told you? Bet on one of them horses for me and tell me how it did. Or if you're in a state where you can do that. Okay, I'm out. Bye, guys. Okay, bye, guys. Okay, bye, guys. Not working. Bye, guys.